Hey Capricorn, welcome to your May reading. You ever notice how when you share something really deep and personal or your feelings with one person, you can come away feeling like elated and eased and seen and positive and like excited for the future and what's possible. And if you share those same feelings or thoughts with another person, you get vulnerable with another person, you can come away feeling like small and strange and dejected and discouraged. Spirit is saying your ability to receive and be received is really important this month. Like your ability to be, it's important that you be seen by someone who can acknowledge you, acknowledge your feelings, make you feel like more of yourself and not less of yourself, even if some of those feelings are like vulnerable or, quote unquote, needy. It's, basically, if I could boil this down, I would say be really choosy about the mirrors of relationship that you look into in the month of May. And maybe just notice. It's like when I share my feelings and my truth and who I really am and what I'm really like about with this person, they make me feel this way. And when I do that same thing with this other person, they make me feel that way. So that helps you choose. And also, really important, those mirrors show you where in yourself you still have a little bit further to go with accepting yourself fully. Like, again, if I show my needy or my insecure or my creative side, a side that makes me feel vulnerable, pick a version of yourself or a characteristic, a side of myself that makes me feel vulnerable, I share it with this person and it makes me feel like hiding that away. There is a part of myself that agrees with that person that it's shameful or embarrassing or dumb or whatever it is that they make you feel, right? And I don't need to change how that person feels, but I need to get with the part of me that thinks they need to talk to me like that because it's like, well, we don't want to get bullied or we don't want to get embarrassed or we don't want to fail in public. And so I'll maybe hold myself back from doing or trying anything that might be a success for me because being a failure is like a worse threat than being a success is a carrot in front of me. You know what I'm talking about? Look into good mirrors. And if you accidentally or on purpose look into any smudged or warped mirrors, look for that warped perspective in yourself and address that. Bring light to it, bring compassion to it. And if you can, bring that feeling, that discouraged or warped or whatever feeling, to that person who is a clear mirror. Someone who can help you see yourself in a newer way. Someone who can help you clean off that mirror so you can see yourself for who you really are, which is imperfect and perfect, whole, lovable. Okay? Okay. Enough mush. Let's get into the month. There'll probably be more mush. You didn't come here for not mush, right? So go ahead and click off because I'm a bit of a mushy bitch. All right, Capricorn, let's look at the story of your month. Keeping that overarching message as a backdrop, we're going to dial in and get the plot points. You're going to look at the recent past, see how it pertains to the present, the unfolding future. As always, we'll pull a persona card to see which characteristics and aspects of yourself that Spirit wants to highlight so that you know what you bring to the table and how you can best wield it. Want to know the climate of the month of May for Capricorn people. And Spirit, we want to know your guidance for how Capricorn can best navigate in that climate. How they can step into the present and future that bring joy, peace, ease, fulfillment. Spirit's talking about you needing something to look forward to. So yes, that. How can we make it so that Capricorn all have something that they are looking forward to? Filled with joy. Spirit, what do Capricorn people need to know about the month of May? We want to know the truth of what's showing up, what's around, what's available, and how they can best use it for their highest good. Spirit, what is the key to unlocking the best of the month of May? And we want to know finally what a potential outcome of that is, so that Capricorn can steer toward or steer clear as necessary. All right, let's see what we got. Capricorn. Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, rising and dominant people. In the month of May, help us see it clearly, Spirit, so we can navigate it with joy, ease, and success. Wow. Wow. That whole looking into the mirror. Okay. Wow. Okay, first things first. You are showing up in your power, Capricorn. You are showing up as the King of Pentacles. Pentacles are the earth element. So money, resources, skills, effectiveness. You are the king of effectiveness. Look at you sitting on gold. Midas touch. People are really trusting in your skills. It seems like you are really demonstrating them. You have more than you might know about. Notice, let's go over to the climate. Four of Pentacles. This person is also wearing a crown, right? This person in the Four of Pentacles, but they have chosen, even though they have all this fertile, beautiful, colorful land, they've built this little sandbox, this little fortress that just barely fits them. Even with all their finery and their, you know, their fur coat and their beautiful golden crown, you might be limiting yourself. You might be believing that there's not more out there for you or more possible for you, or that if you give away some of what you have, that it will not be repaid. And I see that the opposite is true. I see that actually holding yourself back and maybe even sitting on your gold is making you feel pinched. And it feels like it's resulting in a little bit of like exhaustion, mental and potentially physical exhaustion, because the two often go together, right? It's hard to feel physically like vital and excited and energetic when we're mentally tapped the fuck out. I feel like this month it's everything that Spirit was saying in the beginning. It's time to look in the mirror. Sitting in the past, the moon, the mirror of our unconscious. What kind of dreams have you been having? Or, for example, have you not been sleeping? Because that will tell you something about your mental state as well, about what's on your mind, and more importantly, what is swimming around underneath, you know, your conscious mind. A fear or a desire or a dread that needs to be acknowledged and shared is actually what I'm hearing. And this is why it's like, okay, so are you potentially sharing this with like a partner? You could be sharing this with like a friend or a therapist. Who is a good mirror for you? Who, again, when you get around them, makes you feel more loved, understood, lovable. Really important here, okay? I know, Capricorn, you're not famous for prioritizing how lovable you are or how you feel. And that could be part of like this exhaustion, is like going without. You need a little water in your garden, okay? Okay. Cups. So you have all of this skill, all of this money, all of this gold that you are sitting on. If you are holding back, it's time to start moving. Sitting in the present moment, Two of Pentacles. In the classic Rider-Waite version of the card, we see the person who is juggling two pentacles inside of an infinity symbol. Four of Pentacles says you are standing on your pentacles. You're like, I got to stay right here and I got to hold it just like this and keep everything exactly the same, or else something catastrophic will happen. And again, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like the more that you hold and the more that you try to keep everything exactly the way it is and keep it still and not move anything, I feel like it gets stagnant and stilted and ultimately like takes all the fun and the joy and the wind out of it. That's just what I'm hearing. So if your hairs are standing up on the back of your neck, the beauty of getting a forecast is to start making shifts and changes and pivoting now, making a different type of decision now, getting a little more flexible with sharing, putting your skill or your resource or your goal out into the world a little bit more, sharing what it is that you want and sharing what it is that you have to offer. So being a little bit more generous and being a little bit more, giving yourself more space. Feels like you're really like, Spirit is showing me, you know, like a marionette on strings, And it's like, but you're the one holding the strings. There's nobody controlling you. You control the strings. So it's like you could just go, oh, and let yourself loose. Now, I say you could just do that. If there is a belief inside of you that if you just do that, the whole world is going to come crumbling down, or you'll never make money, or you know, blah, 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 whatever narratives, the moon, whatever fears and worries and programmed positive and negative aspects. So I hate it when you're like this. I love it when you're like this. That came from like mom or dad, like ancient, primitive, primeval ass impulses that you don't even understand that you are living by them. And Spirit is saying in some of you, you'd be horrified that like you're still trying to please mommy. You're still trying to please daddy. You may feel in your conscious mind like, fuck mom and dad, or fuck what they think, I'm going to be myself. But there is still a string that is being pulled from a place that you don't know, even though it's you pulling it. Does that make sense? Please let me know if it's making sense to you. I'm very curious if any of you are like, what is, and if it's not, let me know. What the fuck are you talking about? Two of Pentacles, and the future is Two of Cups. Twos flow. They flow, they match, there's some symmetry. You do not have to push far and go fast in the month of May, and actually I would recommend the opposite. I would recommend slow, steady, gentle, moderate, like a moderate pace. Sitting in the potential outcome, a card that I love, Temperance. Importantly, I mentioned that the Two of Pentacles is the card with the person who's doing this, right? With their two pentacles moving them back and forth, back and forth. On the Temperance card, we see the angel who is pouring two cups. Usually, again, in the classic version, she's pouring one cup, or they are pouring one cup into the other, one cup into the other. Just like the Pentacles, it's like it's only those two cups, it's only those two pentacles. But as they are moved, as they are given fresh air and fresh action, they stay fresh, they stay drinkable in the case of the water, right? It never gets stagnant, never gets toxic. And with the money, with the resources, with the skills, they stay growing, they stay moving. They never have a chance to grow hard and calcified like the Four of Pentacles. So play. Play with your resources, play with your skills, play with your money, play with your friends. Play with the people who see you clearly and ask them if you need something. Two of Pentacles says exchange. Two of Cups says exchange, but I was going to say Two of Pentacles also says exchange. Move things around. Actually, I've been paying for this, but I don't even use it, so I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it over here into this thing that I've been wanting to learn or wanting to practice or blah, da, 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 da. And see how that doesn't move things around and create actually more flow. There could be a way that doing less gets you more. That's just what I'm hearing, like the two compared to the Four of Pentacles, okay? A Two of Pentacles moving around is superior to a Four of Pentacles that is holding still. It says that you have enough, even more than enough, but you want to be generous and be more open with what you have, okay? And that includes your creative skills or like your mechanical skills. You have the Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and in the key position you have the Three of Pentacles. If you build it, they will come. And also, it has this in common with the Two of Cups. It's about getting together with other people. It's about getting the perspective, the support of other people. You notice that those Three Pentacles, they're shaped into a triangle. The most steady and supportive shape, and also three sides. So that could be you working with like a therapist or a coach, or that could be you working on a podcast with two other people, or that could be you working on a creative project that you're having an editor or a friend look at and give you reflections on. You feel me? Different things for different Capricorns. It's a general reading. But this month is all about movement. And the fear or the danger is restriction. And especially restriction because of like not wanting to make a wrong move, not wanting to necessarily make the wrong choice. Sitting in the guidance position, Ten of Swords, clarified by the Justice card. And I did not pull that clarifier on purpose. Spirit gave you a bonus card, so they knew we needed a clarifier there. Both swords are featured in both of these cards. But the Justice card has just one. It's clear, it's straightforward, it's one answer. The Ten of Swords is like static. It's, you have said everything that you can. You've thought about this as much and as hard as you can. You've analyzed it to death. You have beat the dead horse into dust. We've had enough conversations. You've convinced, cajoled, coerced, persuaded, pleaded, blah, blah, blah. There was nothing that was going to get this to work. Ten of Swords. Let it rest. Let it rest. Justice says, make the choice to walk away from something that has not been giving you any life. That's just what I'm hearing. Ten of Swords, dry. It's dry, it's arid. And when Spirit was talking about you needing to be able to be receptive to yourself and other people, even before we pulled any cards, that's cups, that's feelings. And look how dry and craggy that Ten of Swords is. There's no love there. There's no ease, there's no affection, there's no back and forth. It is dry and still and dead. So allow yourself to walk away from that. This may be for lots of you, Spirit is connecting it to the Moon card, where it's like that situation or that person is long dead. And we have to, visit the graveside as many times as we need to before we're finally ready to dust our hands off and go, before we're able to say, speak now or forever hold your peace kind of thing. Like, hey, I have to speak and then I'll have my peace, right? Speak my peace and then I'll have my peace. Do that. Make the decision. For some of you with the Ten of Swords connected to the Justice card, this can be things like divorce. And of course, in these modern times, that could look like just sealing the breaking of a commitment. So maybe you're not married, but it's like, we need to break up. This is a big decision, right? This is a big choice of like, this is what's going to bring my life into balance, is what Spirit's saying. And then when we have the Temperance card in the same, it's just, there's a lot here. Two of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Temperance, Justice. It's balance. It's balance and ease and flow, and walking away from anything that keeps us rooted and feeling forced and stuck and like there's no other way to do this except like this. If you're feeling like you're in any situation like that, I feel like that is the situation that needs to be walked away from. And Spirit's funny. They're like being punny with the moon and the cups and everything and feelings. You got to test the waters to find out that you are able to swim, that it is actually the driest and most, the driest, squarest place may feel like the most sensible or safe, but it feels airless. It feels kind of hollow. So if there's a place in your life that you feel is airless, that you feel is hollow, that you feel cramped in, that is where you need to make the decision and test the waters of seeing, what's it like when I step outside of this box? I think a lot more becomes possible for you, and it could grow and get better faster than you think. So if you're afraid that, making that decision will cause nothing but devastation, I see the opposite. You might be sad. It might be really difficult. Ten of Swords, it's darkest before the dawn, but the sun is rising. And it's better to walk toward the dawn than to sit in the dark. The moon. How's that sit on you there, Capricorn? It's like a heavy but promising reading. It costs a lot. It costs a big decision, but it creates all of this flow and possibility and growth and emotional and financial riches able to build up when you set yourself free. Curious what this brings up for you, Capricorn. I have some Capricorn placements myself, so I need to reflect on it too. If you want to share any thoughts, please do. If you ever want to get a personal reading, the way to do that is just below this video. I appreciate you so much for being here, Capricorn. I really, truly hope that it's helpful for you all month long and even beyond. And I hope I'll catch you in the Saturday Live. If not, take care, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.